All right, what's up, guys? All right, this is our first sort of FSD review with this new format. We're about to pick up a family of 4 here, and there was absolutely no conversation, which was a little unfortunate because you could tell that they were definitely not from the area, likely from somewhere in Europe. But, you know, they were just one of those sets of customers that were just quiet, doing their own thing, not really a whole lot of desire to talk. So instead, we're going to take a look at this ride and how FSD version 14 handles getting these folks to their destination.
You need the pin, 6310?
Yeah, sure do. Thank you.
First time I've seen that. Why is that?
It's just rider verification.
Oh,
Make
is it?
sure
Okay.
you're who you say you are.
No, I've never seen that before.
One of the things I really like is that you can actually just hit the start drive right from the top instead of needing to hit the stock or anything. As long as you're in drive, and the car will begin its route. You can kind of see based on the map on the middle of the screen there. This isn't a very long drive. I think it was only like maybe 10-15 minutes. So given this is the first time doing this, I'm going to evolve and feel out how to go about making these sort of FSD review videos. I liked that here the car actually waited for this individual to go. They actually did have a stop sign now that I am looking, so it was a 4-way stop scenario. But I'm glad that they went first. They opened this gate and were able to go through. So far, version 14 has done a good job of stopping at gates just fine. Very natural, no problems. It's actually been a very well finessed experience. You know, there hasn't been a whole lot that's really stood out aside from what I think some of you have experienced and correlated to being like the sort of stuttery phantom braking or weird little bits of braking that's happening at the lower speeds in city streets. I have seen that. I have felt that. It hasn't been super jarring, but it's definitely there. You could tell that it's not as smooth as it should be in those scenarios. So coming up here, you're going to see there is a truck with some flashing lights, and I was curious to how the car would react. Pay attention to the speed here. You're going to see it actually starts to stutter and slow down a lot as that truck's coming over. I know it was partially coming into our lane, but I've also been paying attention to whether or not the car or the system acknowledges emergency lights or other signaling indicators that can interrupt its behavior or make it act weird. Let me know down below if you guys have experienced that yourself. Now, something that's been a little obvious to me, especially when it comes to hurry mode, is a staging concern. So we've got this left turn coming up, and we're okay here. You know, we get where we got to go, and it ends up not being a problem. But especially thanks to that guy who just pulled out in front of us, there is a potential for us to actually not be able to get into this left lane. We got lucky, again, that bus backed up enough that we were able to get over. But I've noticed sort of a lagging in the staging process of preparing for the next maneuver, especially when it comes to getting into your exit lanes on highways in a not rushed sort of approach. I don't know if you guys have had that experience as well. But pay attention to this Audi that we're coming up to here, and another example of just how wonderful it is to be around humans with an entitled stick up their rear. But we have a right turn coming up shortly after passing this overpass, this highway, and we find ourselves in a situation where we're getting a little bullied by humans, and we have to see if FSD can get over. So you can see, watch the middle screen here. We actually get a pretty good jump on this guy. He's getting back there, everything's fine. We turn our signal on, and this little asshat speeds up. FSD does a really good job, though, of kind of slowing down, feeling this out. He also hovers there. It's really frustrating. And now we have another car that's coming up, too. This is our turn here. As annoying as this is, I laid back, I was patient, and FSD managed to get over, and it was okay. So far, so good. I haven't had a situation where FSD's been fully bullied out of a maneuver where I've had to take over, and also you can see how my hands are with the steering wheel and everything moving. I tell you what, guys, not a single question or curiosity was had by anybody in the car about me not driving, which was kind of a bummer. Like, I do this on purpose. I'll kind of like wipe my hands together like this, or I'll have my hands very obvious. Well, there we go. I'm always doing stuff to kind of like show I am not touching the wheel, and you can see that my legs are nowhere near it. My right foot's even tucked back. The young ladies in the back, it was a family of 4, 2 daughters, a mother, and this gentleman up front, and not once did anybody catch or question or wonder what was going on here. Maybe they're used to it, maybe they didn't care, maybe they were just that oblivious. I don't know. On another note of just kind of catching human behavior, pay attention to this Kia van here and the truck in front of it. I kind of sensed something was weird. I'm like watching it. This Kia looks like it's impatient, wants to get around this truck in front of them, and I'm like expecting to jump over. I know that at some point one of these guys are probably going to end up jumping in front of me. Let's just see how that truck tried to get over with that Audi in front of him and then had to backtrack because he wasn't paying attention. And then he is very much going to shoot in front of us once that Audi clears its path. FSD does a great job, though, of recognizing this, slowing down. He gets over with no problem, and then the impatient minivan can take off and get past everybody. It's nice to see how FSD handles being around all of these human inputs that can get really frustrating because people do not drive with any sense of finesse or common sense a lot of the time, especially out here in Florida. It is a constant mess of you trying to predict how dumb everyone around you is, and the more time you spend in a car like this, in a Tesla with FSD, observing people, I think the more eager I get, and I'd love to know your thoughts too, the more eager I get to get humans out of the driver's seat and just speed up the process to having the robots drive, because my God, humans are bad at it. Now, I do remember when we hit this corner, I felt a little worried because I wasn't as familiar with this area, which way to go. FSD definitely knew how to do it because there's actually a disconnect. You'll see the map down below was actually telling us to take that overpass to the left, whereas the Tesla nav is telling us to go this way. And, you know, then the nav on my phone corrected itself. I have noticed, and I don't know if Tesla did something to their back-end maps or navigation or whatever, but I've noticed that FSD's routing through the Tesla nav system has often been better than the rideshare apps I'm using. I've noticed where it's diverged quite a bit in several scenarios, and the Tesla path makes more sense. So I don't know if that is due to some work on the back end or just RNG, you know, just random luck. Let me know what you guys think down below that have been experiencing FSD version 14 or 14 Lite, whatever it is. Do you see the same thing? Or is it just a placebo? All right, coming up to this scenario here, I can see that, you know, we were waiting for this guy before we got over, but this is a case where it feels like staging was right on the money. We got a good bit of distance, you know, 300 plus meters before this light, and FSD was already getting over. That felt really natural. That felt really good. I believe we still are on hurry mode. It's a little hard to see up there, but yeah, it's what it looks like. This tail end of the trip felt great. There was really nothing that stood out to be any sort of issue. FSD just doing what it does. And I mean, even before getting 14 Lite, 12.6.4 for a lot of this was just as good. It handled all of these competencies really well. There wasn't anything that really stood out as being revolutionary. This part, though, what you just saw me do tapping on the screen to decide between parking or pulling over, is one of the things that I really like, because it allows me to see how the car would actually get up to the destination to let the customers out. And actually, I do remember when we dropped them off here, I did have to take over to stop it because I wanted to kind of keep on cruising past the destination. We'll see if that becomes obvious on the screen. All right, here we go for our final bit of the video. And this is pretty chill. You know, we don't really get hindered by this person in front of us, which is nice because they end up moving on. Just kind of all works out. I always wonder sometimes the randomness of encounters with other people, if there's going to be something that stops up the system. Most of the time it doesn't, though. So this destination is just a little breakfast spot over here, and you can kind of see where the pin is on the map. This is meant to go right to the spot, which is to the right. You'll see it says Eggs Grill right up there. And this is around where we need to stop, and I can tell it's not slowing down. So I take over, I pull us over, and then that's the end of the ride. Everybody hops out of the car, and that's it. Another successful FSD trip, and then I navigate out of here to go pick up the next person. Again, this is the first time I'm doing this sort of review style when it comes to FSD with customers that aren't really talking all that much, or scenarios where there wasn't conversation, so we can actually look at stuff. And even, you know, rides where there were. I could probably do this for other videos of mine in the past, or hell, I could even review videos that you guys would like my thoughts on. That just could be a fun format. I'm curious to see what y'all think. This wasn't too bad. Looks like my recording is showing about 16 minutes, but we'll see if it was actually that long or not. I am going to be getting back out there to get more content. I've got a few more videos to get uploaded for you guys on the FSD side. We are back kicking it. I've also got an updated or upgraded lapel mic situation now with DJI stuff that actually sounds really good. Should help really clean up the audio for those customer reactions. But that is all I got for you guys today. I will catch you in the next video. Take care.